Lue Elizondo is really on a roll recently, okay? I'm sure you remember, not that long ago, he presented us this picture that shows a so-called mothership, as he described it, over Romania in 2022. He presented this picture, claiming it to be authentic at a conference that he was actually the headline speaker of at the time, and he also claimed, as part of the speech that he gave there, that this sighting was also corroborated by a pilot that he spoke to, okay? So it's gotta be real, amazing, huge mothership. Somehow there's just one picture of this huge mothership hovering somewhere over Romania. But who knows? Maybe they don't have smartphones in Romania. I don't know. But turns out it's fake. Okay, it was widely debunked as a light fixture on the ceiling being reflected in a window. So the picture has been taken through a window, and what you see here is just a light fixture that's behind the photographer on the ceiling. And it looks like, because of the reflection, like it's sitting in the sky there and almost illuminating the clouds, right? Unbelievable. And beyond that, it seems like, and I don't know if this is what it is, but it even seems like you can see the hairline here of the person who took that. You see the shape here? It looks like hair, like the guy is standing in front of the light fixture and like the top of his hair is obstructing some of the light fixture in the reflection. You can almost see like a head here. So this obviously was a huge embarrassment for Lue Elizondo at the time, right? You present a picture and it turns out to be fake and you didn't realize it. Even you claim to be this huge authority on the credibility of UFOs. And then also him claiming that he spoke to a pilot who corroborated this sighting. And clearly that wasn't true. I don't think a pilot corroborated a sighting of a reflection of a light fixture. Okay, so he lied about this. It seems like, right? Allegedly, I don't know. But looking at what I'm seeing here, it looks like he lied about that at the time. And you would think that if this happens to you, if you present something publicly and you get exposed very quickly for it being fake, you would say to yourself, okay, guys, listen, we have to make sure that this never happens again. We need to double, triple, quadruple check the authenticity of any image, of any footage, of any claim that we're putting out there now, so this never happens again. We cannot afford any more of those embarrassing false fake pictures being presented by us, right? Especially now that it seems like Lue Elizondo is somewhat the consultant for the White House, for the Trump government, when it comes to UFOs and ufology. However, just yesterday, Lue Elizondo did it again. He did the same thing again. He was speaking as part of a congressional briefing, and during this talk, he presented us with a brand new, undebunkable UFO picture, also taken by a pilot. I mean, the other one, I don't think it was taken by a pilot, but this one was. But let me show you guys the whole clip and how Lue Elizondo presented us with this evidence yesterday at this congressional briefing.
And I just received permission today to share this with you. It is a lenticular object, and when you look at the shadow being cast, it is significantly large. This is an altitude of 21,000 feet.
Ooh, there was like this one person in the audience. Ooh. I watched this yesterday while I was live streaming, more or less live. I think the post was like 2-3 minutes old when I saw it while I was streaming, and this was my initial reaction.
Significantly large. This is an altitude
It's significantly large. Because this is the worst image ever. I mean, especially when he's holding it up here, it just looks like a blurry mess. We get a little bit more detail here on the right-hand side, and I'll show you guys the highest resolution version of this image that we could get. But let's keep going on. He so far mentioned that he just received permission to share this highly sensitive picture with all of us, and that it's been taken by a pilot from an altitude of around 21,000 feet. But let's keep going.
taken by a civilian pilot. Now, why is this important? I'll pass this around. I'll hold another copy here. If you could, Kirk, when you're finished as well, please pass it on down to them. This is taken from a civilian pilot, right? Not a FLIR system, not an infrared system, but an average person with an average camera at 21,000 feet. And the object potentially is anywhere between 600 to 1,000 feet in diameter. It's a lenticular object, and it is silver. Now,
it is between 600 and 1,000 feet in diameter. It's a lenticular object. Also, it is silver. Let's listen what he has to say next.
I cannot vouch for the veracity of this photograph. I didn't take it.
I can't vouch for the veracity of this photograph, but it's between 600 and 1,000 feet, and it's silver. I definitely know it's a black and white picture, but it's definitely silver. That much I No, it sounds like he knows, but yeah.
But this is an example of one of many, many, many incidents involving commercial and private pilots. And guess what? They don't know where to report it. Guess what? Congress has no idea
Oh my God.
that this is happening
Outrageous.
on a regular basis. That's a problem.
That is a problem. I would say one of the biggest problems of our time is that pilots don't have a place where they can report these huge amounts of sightings. They're happening all the time, all around the world. Pilots are witnessing incredible things, including what we see in this picture here. Now, this is roughly the highest resolution version of this image that I could find, and you seem to be able to see some kind of disc-shaped object here hovering above the ground, and it casts a big shadow, right? That's how it looks like. It casts a big shadow right underneath here. However, and we noticed this on yesterday's live stream already, there's a few discrepancies, or let's just say questions, about this particular image. For example, it's just a photo. It doesn't move. It doesn't accelerate. My initial thought was it's probably like a lenticular cloud kind of thing. It could be many things, but look at this footage here, right? I mean, this is a similar object, seemingly. If we would have had a film that comes from a credible witness where the object does something like what you see here, and I think this is probably CGI or, maybe AI or something. It's definitely not real. But if we would have had an authentic picture that's corroborated by a pilot and supplied by a pilot and the object does this, I'd be like, okay, that's somewhat interesting. Another question that really came up quickly after this image was released is that these two circles do not intersect. They don't overlap, okay? You can see it here. This is like an illustration. These are the roads that are passing by, and they go in between the objects, okay? Now, it might just be a coincidence. If you have a big circle, a big UFO like that, and it casts a shadow underneath, it could be that the shadow just, by sheer coincidence, lines up perfectly with the streets, and at no point does the circle above and the shadow circle on the ground overlap, okay? But it is questionable, right? You see this, it already made me like, how is that possible? Is that just a coincidence? I'm not sure. Also, looking at images like this one, you can clearly see unique identifying markers, geological formations back here, like these, I guess they are dried out riverbeds or something, that go up, I don't know what it's like, I think it's like southeast or something, going up to the southeastern direction here. So there are the roads, there are these clear geological markers that you can identify if you want to, and there's the fact that the two circles don't really overlap. Well, without further ado, this image, less than 24 hours after Lue Elizondo held it up and told everyone it's taken by a pilot and it's probably silver and 600 to 1,000 feet and pilots can't report it anywhere. These poor pilots, the image was debunked. Not just by Mick West, but by a lot of people on the internet. Everyone kind of got together and very quickly identified the exact location of where this image was taken and what it factually shows. And here it is. Okay, this is the exact location, and you can actually trace back, seeing the pictures like this next to each other, right? Like the riverbed formations. I assume they're riverbeds. I don't know if they are like dried out riverbeds, but that's how they look to me. But the shapes up here perfectly line up with the shapes up here. The dark circle down here. And the reason why it's dark, it can have various reasons. Like it might just have been fertilized or something. It might just that they dug over the earth so that the soil is darker than it is up here. But you can see the circle up here lighter, the circle down here darker. And if you now would have a slightly lower angle, it would give you the exact impression, the illusion of this object casting a dark shadow underneath, when in reality, it's just irrigation circles. That's all it is. Now, when it comes to him claiming that this picture was supplied by a commercial pilot, it might have been supplied by a commercial pilot, who knows? But he also might have made that part up. We don't know. We simply don't know the origins of this picture, but it's just, oh my God, like there's no filter. I mean, people have found the exact location, and you can see it on screen here. You can go to Google, check it yourself, but like people found the exact location of this image within less than 24 hours after he held it up. So it took people a few hours, basically, to debunk this. Oh yeah, and by the way, I should do this image debunked. Feels good. I haven't done that in a while. But it's like, why does he not do this research? Does he not? I mean, he spoke in front of like a congressional briefing, basically as an extended voice of the government, as maybe their official consultant when it comes to ufology and these unexplained phenomena and all that. Why does he not do his research? Why does he ruin the reputation of himself and the world of ufology and disclosure as a whole so carelessly? You know what I mean? It's like, you really wouldn't have to dig particularly deep, I think, to find out what this image shows, but he didn't even do that. So it raises the question that a lot of people raised in the replies to these posts as well. Is he doing this on purpose? Does he make these mistakes intentionally? Because, I mean, Dr. Stephen Greer in the past accused him of being a disinformation person because maybe he's a disinformation agent who just intentionally is trying to spread images, muddle the water, right? Get people to focus on all that fake information and stuff like this rather than focusing on the real phenomenon that is ufology. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to give this question back to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Is Lue Elizondo doing this intentionally, or is he really just not checking his sources and like the origin of where these images come from and what they potentially show? I mean, both options are horrendous, right? Let's be honest. But personally, I can't see another scenario of how he would come to that point where he stands in front of a congressional briefing, holds up a picture, and embarrasses himself as well as the whole world of disclosure and ufology once again, after he already did that a while back with the image you see here. Anyway, guys, listen, before we end today's video, oh yeah, I wanted to show you this picture as well. I don't know, is it real? Leave that down in the comments as well. I don't know, is this unedited? It could be unedited. I don't know how big Lue Elizondo is. I think this limit is Tom DeLonge or whatever. But anyway, like, leave your thoughts on this picture down in the comment section as well. And then as a final note, that's right, you may have noticed merch. We have merch. Merch has launched. Yes! You guys have asked me many times whether we can do merch. The shop is now live. The link is in the description. Check it out. This is just one of the t-shirts that you can get there. We have hoodies, we have jumpers, we have girls' clothes, we have hats, we have mugs, we have so many things. And I'm sure there's something in there that you would like as well. So click the link in the description. Check out our brand new, freshly launched merch shop. I would appreciate if you find something that you like. Besides that, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Subscribe, join our Discord through the link in the description. Smash like on your way out. And I do see you in the next video or at a live stream. You know, good to see you there as well. Thanks for your time. Take care of yourselves. I'm out. Bye.